Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Acquiring traders is expensive. Retaining them is where the real business is built. In this session, we'll explore what separates effective retention systems from expensive gymsticks and how brokers can design loyalty structures that actually improve trader engagement, lifetime value, and long-term platform activity. Please welcome Desmond Leong, CEO of Returning.AI. Desmond, the stage is yours.
Testing. Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to come down for today's session. Right. I'll be covering some of the top 5 mistakes that brokers, because these days brokers are looking to differentiate themselves beyond just the usual MT4, MT5 offerings, low spread, fast execution. What we've noticed is that more and more brokers are starting to introduce loyalty programs as one of the differentiation, not only to acquire clients, but to also to retain them. So we do roll out loyalty programs for a lot of brokers, and I'll be sharing some of the top 5 mistakes I've noticed that they make. All right, hopefully we can learn from this session. All right. So the first mistake that brokers tend to make when they're launching a loyalty program is that they see it they see in a very transactional manner. Right? They see that the more you trade, the more points you get. Right? That is the idea of a loyalty program. Right? They just see very transactionally. The more you trade, the more points you get. Right? But I want to share with you that a loyalty program is supposed to act as a sort of retention engine, a retention layer, to help you acquire, to help you retain, to help you engage with clients, right? So for that, these are some of the numbers, right? From our own, from the clients that we have, we aggregate it, right? And we see the performance, right? These are at least some of the numbers if you implement a loyalty program properly. We have the conservative, we have the conservative, moderate, and the optimistic view, right? So it does move the numbers on a lot of things, right? It moves ARPU, right? It improves LTV, trading volume, daily active clients retention. When implemented correctly, it can really move the needle. Now, the caveat here is only when it is implemented correctly, right? So I'll be sharing, of course, for the rest of the slides, some of the things to avoid so that you can get some of these numbers. So, the best loyalty programs, they reward progress. They don't just reward volumes. All right? For example, KYC, first time deposit, first time trade, trading every day, redeposit. These are things that a loyalty program can actually do. It's not just only when you begin trading. It can come in even before you begin trading. Right? So we've seen some brokers implement onboarding journeys where you reward traders with like loyalty points as they upload their KYC. The faster they deposit, they get more points. The faster they trade, they get more points. It's quite interesting because you think about it, one of the biggest drops that happen in any registration process is when a user registers until he trades. There's always a big drop that happens there. But what if you can turn it into like a gamified journey, a gamified quest for clients to complete? So this is one example of it. Right? Another example, right, is that people think purely in terms of trading. A loyalty program can also reward them for engaging with you on social media. We have brokers who do this very well. Every time you like, comment, or repost something on LinkedIn, something on Facebook, right, you get points for it. It's quite interesting because if you think about it, brokers can have like 10, 20, 30, 100,000 clients. But whenever we post something on LinkedIn, whenever we post something on Instagram, there's only like 5, 10 likes, right? But so what we did was, we have this little social quest where you reward clients for engaging with your social media. Then suddenly, every post that you do, right, you have like 100, you have a few hundred, likes, comments, and the marketing team loves it because that is very good social proof. It helps return on ad spend, and the new generation of traders, they kind of size you up a bit, when they're looking at your social media. Spin the wheel, right? So spin the wheel is very common. It's very common in loyalty programs. But it's important not to see it as a simple thing to just spin. Okay, because it's true, you spin the wheel, you get a dopamine hit. Yeah, I got some points. Happy, I trade every day, I get a spin. I log in every day, I get a spin, right? But how do you actually create it in a way? How do you borrow things from Duolingo, right? That could make this more effective, right? So, for example, we have one of the clients we rolled out for Infinox. A very simple approach. Log in every day to the client portal, you get to spin. But the fun part is this part down here. The more days in a row you log in, the more days in a row you spin, the bigger your multiplier gets. It's 2 times multiplier after 10 days. Maybe after 90 days, it's 3 times. Right? And what happens, and what we've noticed, right, across the clients we've implemented it for, is that even on days like the Good Friday weekend, you have a record number of people just logging in into your client portal just to spin the wheel. But that puts them in a very, very prime position if you want to put some banners, if you want them to redeposit, you have some campaigns, you have some promotions. The best place to put it is when they're in the client portal. So implementing something like this will get them logging in every day into the client portal just to spin the wheel. How do you take it one level further? A client GTCFX. What they did is they tied it to asset classes, trading one lot of each asset class. You trade one lot of Forex, you get to spin the wheel once. You trade one lot of gold, you get to spin the wheel once. Indices, crypto, just all the different asset classes. So you can tie it to logging in, you can tie it to trading activity. Right? So you can see over here, the same multiplier they put in. And what we saw is that you suddenly create predictability. We know that trading is very volatile. Some days you trade more, some days you trade less. And of course, what we want as businesses is we want predictability. We want frequency. And if you have 1,000 clients trading 10 lots a day to maintain their trading streak, when Christmas comes, when the weekend, when the December comes, you can predict with more certainty that those people will continue trading to maintain their trading streak. Right? So this is one way how we combine games. It's not just rewarding people for points, but how do you combine gamification mechanics, right, to make to drive volume, drive repeat visits. Next mistake is that they don't. This is something which we've seen happen. It's important to control the cost of your loyalty program. A lot of brokers, they just think, okay, more points, you trade more, you get more points. That works, but if you have some really, really big traders, it's going to be very expensive. They're going to trade, and then within one day, they can redeem, a lot of, maybe the highest tier of prizes. So how do you do this without feeling like you are capping their potential? If you think about it, credit card companies do this, right? Every month, you spend maybe $2,000. Within the first $2,000, you get a lot of points. After you cross a certain amount, you get less points. But how does a broker do this without discouraging their clients from trading more? So the answer to this is actually this concept of a premium currency. All right, it's a premium currency. And I'll be showing a really good example again, all the time with what we did with this broker called Infinox. How does a premium currency work? You have your normal currency that traders earn when they trade, okay? But you have a premium currency, like what Infinox says here, they call it a diamond. What it does is that once you hit the daily limit, once you hit the daily limit of, like in this case, if I'm not wrong, it's 100 lots. Once you hit the daily limit, you get one premium currency that you can spend on things money can't buy. So suddenly, you change the framing from you're being hard capped at 100 lots to like, I have to hit the 100 lots so I can get this premium currency that's gonna get me into, to get me things that money can't buy. So that's one way you can cap the cost without, making it look like you are discouraging traders from like trading. Third mistake, right? They are letting the reward store drain cash. All right, so a lot of loyalty programs, when you're talking to the, especially a chief financial officer, right? They're like, okay, how much is this going to cost us, right? If we put an iPhone in there, it's going to be expensive, right? Every time someone wants to redeem an iPhone, wow, this iPhone 17 Pro Max, wow, $2,000, right? It's painful, right? It's okay to put the items in there. It makes it attractive. It makes it nice. Clients look at it and like, if I trade with this broker versus trading with the other broker, I can actually walk away with an iPhone. I can actually walk away with, some brokers put gold bars, some brokers put cars in there, right? But it's like they think, okay, these are things I can aspirationally work towards. But what I see in the brokerage side, when they're in the finance meetings, this is something that they're really concerned about. This is a lot of money if someone redeems it. But what's the trick? The trick is actually this concept of offering them a little bit more, but putting it as non-withdrawable trading credit. How does this work? This is an example. Someone wants to redeem an AirPods, right? Oh, cool. Time to redeem, right? So we have a store that is built into your client portal. You click on it. The next thing you see, you have physical delivery, but at the same time, instead of physical delivery, why don't you get it for trading credits? You get 20% more of the value of the item, but it's non-withdrawable. From our data, a lot of traders actually pick this option. Interesting. You think that, okay, why don't you just get the iPhone and sell it off, right? They're like, I want the money right away, right? I don't want to wait 3 weeks for it to come, right? And I don't mind it being credited to my account and give me 20% more. But the true cost of this trading credit is not going to be, like in this case, it's not going to be $120. Because we know if it's trading credit which they can't withdraw, the true cost to a broker is a lot less, maybe 20% of that, right? So with any gift that you want to put in your catalog, the trick is always high perceived value, low cost. If it's high perceived value and high cost, right? High value, high cost, it's just going to be expensive, right? Not sustainable. With any business, right? You want to be the producer, right? You sell it at a margin. It's the same thing with gifts. You want to try to offer something really good, but your cost is actually low. And trading credits is a very useful way to do that. All right, then yeah, of course, when they select trading credits, they're shown their MT4, they're shown their MT5 account, click, send through. Now, mistake number 4, right? Most brokers try to create a retail loyalty program separate from an IB loyalty program. They're like, I'll have my retail traders here and I have my IBs over here, right? They have separate loyalty programs. Kind of makes sense in some cases, but what we realize is that you're missing out on a lot, right? You're missing out on a lot. Why? It's because if you have the same loyalty program, and this is one we've tested with a few brokers, it wasn't something we planned for, but the outcome was quite interesting. When traders, when IBs were earning commissions, the first thing they think about, I'm going to withdraw the commissions to my wallet. I'm going to take it out of the brokerage, which is painful for us. What's the best case? The commissions that they make, put it back into your trading account. Isn't that the best case scenario? But because we have traditionally separated the idea of IB and retail trading so much, even like separate wallets, that's what they think about, right? I'll just withdraw it first. If I want to, maybe I'll deposit it. This broker, GTCFX, they did a very interesting approach, right? They just say, okay, whenever someone trades, retail traders, one lot of FX get you 10 points. One lot of gold gets you 10 points. Then I ask them, what about the IBs? What about the partners? They say, just multiply it 20 times. If their clients trade 20 lots of FX, you get 10 points. 20 lots of gold, 10. Whatever the clients trade, just make sure it's 20 times the amount. So we're like, okay, see how it works. And it turns out that when that happens, we realize brokers, IBs, were withdrawing their funds a lot less. They will realize, oh man, I have a balance booster. Oh man, I'm so close to this reward. I might as well just transfer my funds over to the trading account, start trading, and so that I can redeem a nicer price over there. Right? It wasn't something we intended, but it was an interesting behavior we observed. So it turns out IB starts transferring funds over to their retail trading accounts. All right? In the interest of time, the last mistake is that most brokers treat loyalty programs as something you slap on, and that's it. All right? Okay, people trade, you give them points, you give them coins, and that's it. What they don't realize is that a loyalty program, when implemented well, is a powerful engine, a powerful arsenal of weapons that you can use for your marketing team and for your sales team. Let me share some examples. Right? When you notice that your client is slowing down in trading, he used to be trading a lot more. He starts to, his volumes are decreasing. The first thing that you think about is you get a salesperson, go over, hey, why are you slowing down in trading? Do you hear some trading ideas? Throw some trading ideas from Trading Central, auto charties to him, right? But what if you could equip him with like, here's a trading booster. Any trades that you do from now get you triple the points. Even better, you can time it so that these kind of boosters come in automatically, right? You don't need to wait for someone to manually review it. So that's one way. Another way that we've seen it happen, right, is that, for example, when a client, okay, I'll show you. I'll share from a sales perspective. Sometimes you're trying to convince a client to join your brokerage, all right, and thinking, okay, those guys got MT4, those guys got MT5, right? They got C trader, low spreads, fast execution. What can I do to bring them over? So the salespeople actually have the freedom to say, hey, if you join today, I will give you 10 free spins of the spin the wheel. And you can get some pretty good prices from there. To the broker, it costs almost nothing. In fact, it creates this sunk cost fallacy, because when they spin 10 times, right, and they don't have enough points, they then need to keep trading in order to get enough points, right? But it's a smart way. Sometimes you just give them a taste of something, they like it, they love the dopamine hit of spinning, they go on a 10 spin streak, and then they realize, I am on a 10 spin streak. It'll be a waste if I don't trade tomorrow, right? It'll be a waste if I don't redeem this, right? So from a sales perspective, you're equipping your sales team with more. From a marketing perspective, Black Friday, Christmas, 11/11 sale. Sign up now, instantly get 10 spins. Instantly get a jackpot, right? This requires you to look at it differently. It's not just something that rewards traders. It's something that can use heavily as an acquisition tool, as an engagement tool. So sometimes the sales team, the marketing team, they're saying, we need more things. We need more things to differentiate ourselves from the other broker. We need more things that buys us goodwill, right? Because if there's anything, especially in the Asia space, right, it's all about relationships. What's the best way to build relationships? Giving stuff is one of it. And what about giving all the stuff from the loyalty program? We should, to the broker is minimal cost. Giving free sprints, giving free coins. Someone loses his streak, say, don't worry, I will help you reinstate your streak, right? Let me speak to my boss, right? And then you reinstate the streak for him. So these are things that we are noticing the sales and marketing teams using a lot, right? To help close the deal or acquire more clients. So anyway, as an ending note, if you're just going to do an audit on your loyalty programs that you're going to launch, 5 things I think you should check. Are you rewarding more than just volume, right? Because if you're just rewarding volume, it's just, you're missing out a lot. You're missing out a lot of the potential of a loyalty program. Are we controlling point costs? Don't just reward it without any control. Find a way to cap it, but put it in a nice way. The tip is to use a premium currency. Are we recycling reward value back into trading? Remember, don't just send them the item. Try to get it back into trading credits. Are retail and partner incentives aligned and connected? That is one of the biggest wins I feel like you can, if you take away from today, right? IB and retail loyalty programs, merge them into one, right? You will be surprised by the number of IBs who then decide to put their funds into their retail trading account so that they can take part in the loyalty program there. And the last one, of course, are you using the data before they churn? Very, very effective, right? You see all the different behaviors, all the different touch points, right? And you try to use the loyalty program to improve your retention. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time for this session. Thank you.